Welcome back everyone to episode number 16 of the Bloodborne Ultimate Walkthrough. Today we're going to be going to the Upper Cathedral Ward. So we're going to visit our first tombstone here. And you'll see here that we have the Cathedral Ward. We're going to warp to that. Alright. So one thing that you want to take a look at is your quick items. You may consider using a sedative if you get attacked with frenzy buildup. There are a few enemies that can do that in the zone where we're headed. You should have access to this. You've been here before. All you're going to do is run over here to this lift. Summon it if it's not already down here waiting for you. And we're going to use the key that we obtained in last episode. So make sure that you have that by going to your key inventory items here, and you'll see the Upper Cathedral key. If you don't have that, then that means you missed it, and you'll need to consult the previous episode. Alright, let's go ahead and take the ride up. So we're going to have a machine gun guy to the right here. That's usually some quick... What was that noise? Delayed death sound, maybe? We're gonna be one-shotting almost anything around here at the moment, so you don't need to be too cautious. So, you can approach this the way we normally would and just get their attention. I'll try to be patient and show you guys the proper way to do things. Drag this one out. Looks like he's going to town. We'll get the rifleman behind him, then turn to the others. Again, like I said, you're going to be one-shotting these enemies at this point if you've been following the guide. So, if you're confident, go ahead. Go in there, knock them all out. We've got a guy that we want to get behind here. We can kill both of them at the same time usually, and then you'll have another. Let's see. We'll have a wandering big hulking enemy out here. He doesn't want any. That's a little surprising. See if we can get him to come towards us now. Wow. I can't believe that didn't work. Okay. Or you don't need to parry him and you can just beat the shit out of him. Either way. Alright. So once those guys are dead, you're gonna run over here. There we go. It's all a circle, so I think I got myself mixed up on which side we were on at the moment. Go ahead and top off your health. There should be a note here. It says the sky and the cosmos are one, the choir. I know we saw that a long time ago, but I wanted to refresh that because it's part of the lore for the area that we're headed to. You're going to have that guy in the chair at the back side. He's going to roll in to approach us after the fight begins with him. And then there's another soldier right there on the left. So go ahead and kill the guy in the chair first. Then deal with this one. And then prepare yourself to fight this guy. So the ones in the chairs have flame sprayers. So be wary of that. Of course, you should never be hurt by those kind of enemies. You always have the advantage of speed and getting behind them, so you really shouldn't take any hits from them unless they catch you off guard. There's nothing with these pots, so unless you're like me and just enjoy breaking those things, there's no benefit to them. We're going to approach this enemy here, and if you just walk up really slow and land an R2, you should be good. For some reason it just falls through the ground It does that every time I kill it, so I'm not sure what that's all about. The ones up here don't behave that way. So we're going to have 2 wandering guys on the bridge. I would say kill the one with the lantern first because they have that range capability. And then we'll have some more of those little enemies that we just killed behind them. Basically, with an enemy like that hesitates, it'll point, it'll moan, do whatever it's going to do. That's a perfect type of opportunity for you to charge up and attack. So I'm going to go ahead and start with these 2, since we can get a double right off the bat. And it looks like one of my swings might have gone over the head. So you can kill those guys most of the time in 2 hits. If your weapon's to the normal form, it's going to take 3 hits sometimes. Also, this area is a little bit loud with wind and whatnot, so sorry if my voice is louder than usual. I've got in-ear monitors for headphones, so I can't really hear how loud my own voice is. Alright, so if you've got a lot of blood echoes here, or you just need to return for any reason, you can definitely do so. We won't be backtracking, so anything that you've killed to this point is irrelevant. There's lots of, again, I don't know what to call these things. I'll just call them slugs. There's lots of these guys up here moving very slowly. They're not really a threat to you. You're only going to get hurt by these if you're not doing things properly. So just walk up and charge up in R2, and you're going to clear out lots of these enemies. Now, they can hit you with frenzy damage, so that's one of the reasons why I had warned you about the sedative. But it's so hard to get hit by an enemy like this, especially with our weapon selection. So once we've done that, we're going to grab the Great Lake, and that is a very good item. It's going to give us 4% resistance to all types of damage across the board. This door right here is locked, and we're going to eventually open it, so we've got a shortcut to our lamp. Alright, so we've got one right here. I would say take that one out as priority, and it makes all the others a little bit easier to get to because they'll kind of stack up. Yeah, I really have no idea what these things are supposed to be. That's pretty much true for about anything in this game. The ones that are way less human-like, I don't even know what to call them. I usually have a nickname for some of the more human-like enemies, but these guys are fucking weird. Alright, so we've got a bunch of crows here. Nothing else around here. Crows are really annoying. There's no simple way to kill them without a ranged attack, so what I like to do is just come in with an R1, because an L2 or an R2 will usually go underneath them. So that second R1, that slam down, that's very helpful in getting the kill. You see, even if you miss, you're still chaining the attack so that you can get that second hit and knock them out of the air. It's slow and methodical, but otherwise these guys just are a real big pain in the ass. And obviously, they're extremely loud. Alright, so we got this. Frenzied Cold Blood. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up the stair with my gun. We're going to look to parry this guy right here. So we're just going to wait for him to use an attack. Okay, we didn't get the timing right, and I'm dead. Good times, right? So that's one of the harder things about fighting on the stairs. The graphic and the animation looks a little bit different. The speed looks a little bit different. So parrying on the stairs is not something I ever like to do. But unfortunately, that's the only place where we can fight that enemy. So you have to make a decision. Again, like I said, they are the type of enemy that will point. They'll point at you. They'll make noise. They'll do something. They'll give you a window of opportunity to attack. So you can run up there and press an R2 charge up attack and then sit there in the pocket and trade with them. So we can go either approach, usually is successful. I did land the parry, but the timing of me getting to the enemy to land the visceral attack was poor, so I took the damage. And then of course when we're out of our element, being knocked around on the stairs like that with no ability to dodge, we're really going to take a beating there because we can't trade with them. Alright, so if you do get killed, really simple. You don't need to fight any of this stuff. It's very slow, so you can just bypass it. They're not going to pursue you like forever, so you don't need to worry about that. So I'll just show you how you would do if you just wanted to come at him. Just do 2 charge ups, and he's dead. So obviously that's super simple, but I don't want to show you guys the same tactic every time. But if you want to use the parry, I would say maybe step on the top step here and allow him to do the swing, because realistically when you parry an enemy, you're just waiting for them to try to attack you anyway, so it doesn't matter the distance. And if you are closer, it's the less territory that you have to travel before delivering that visceral attack anyways, so it can benefit you. Alright. So we're going to walk in really slow here. And we're going to get a free backstab on this guy. Or not. If that happens, just keep charging up the R2. So, I call these guys brain suckers. They are very dangerous. They don't have a lot of health, but if you're not hitting them with visceral attacks or charged up attacks, you're not doing much damage at all. They are tough enemies, and they do a lot of damage, and they have CC by hitting you with spells. So if they hit you with their spell, it's going to stagger you in place until they can approach you and basically deal a significant amount of damage. So you want to be very careful with that. I would say in this zone you want to equip your torch because it's really dark in here. And then we're also going to turn on our hand lantern just for that extra little bit in case we need to go to our gun, or in case we need to shoot, go two-handed with the weapon. So you can see the item all the way down there. We're going to disregard that for the moment. We're coming back through this area eventually. So here we're pretty safe for now. You're going to hear a lot of noises. Those are some brain suckers down below. What I'm going to suggest is, you see the chandelier with some beasts on top of it. We're going to walk until that starts to fall. Then I want you to get the attention of one or two that have fallen. You can see that. Now we're going to run away. Run into the hallway. And through this doorway here. They cannot cross this threshold. So this is kind of like the beginning of the game when we were in Yharnam. We could deal a lot of damage to werewolves or beasts, whatever we're going to call these guys, because they couldn't cross thresholds in areas there. So, but they can get through this door, so don't be fooled. It's kind of dumb that they can get through this, but not the other door that we're talking about. Come on. I'm probably just going to charge up and attack so I can get him. I wanted him to come through the door because I know he can. He usually does, but he's not doing it for some reason. Now, the only reason we want to do this is because there's 4 of them. So you don't want to fight them out in the open. But now that we can take each one on probably 1v1, I'm okay with that. Oh, no, these two are blocking each other. Alright. So this is actually best when they're stacked. And again, I fully expect these guys to get through the door when you fight them, because that's exactly how it's been in every practice run that I've done. Oh, here. That guy was getting through. Yeah, he's through. So, for some reason, they just weren't coming through that door. I don't know what was going on there. But they will never go through this one. So you do not have to worry about this hallway here. And again, you're going to hear the brain sucker sounds. Just don't get thrown off by that, because they're down below. Okay, he's behind the door, so that's good. Okay. So there's going to be one more below that's kind of roaming around. You'll see them on the left there. They are alone, so we can go ahead and just fight them. You can kind of lock them with the railing there, but there's no need to. If you dodge the first attack, you're going to be pretty good. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I had a weird storm issue, power shut out, and I had to redo this part here. So, basically we are approaching this area right here, and what I want to do is get behind this statue a little bit. We'll be able to hear the brain sucker walking down the hallway. I'm going to have my axe shortened because they're going to be fighting in a tight corridor. Once I see them hit the end of the hallway here and then turn back around, we're going to start following them. What I want to try to do is get in a charged attack if possible. It is hard to keep pace with them and still land a charged attack with a short range weapon like this. So immediately go into the next one. If you can get two off like that, that's great. Sometimes it will not work. What I suggest doing is backing away. You can use these outcroppings here. They will not be able to hit you with their spells if you stand behind these. For some reason, this is just enough cover to stay away from their spells. If their spells do hit you, you're going to get frozen in place. They're going to deal a big amount of damage to you. So one thing you can do is stay a little bit close to them, bait out a melee attack where you can parry them with your gun, or you can bait out a miss and then charge up an R2. The only reason these guys are tough is because of their spell. If it hits you, you're pretty much screwed. And then also the fact that they deal a lot of damage if they grab you. So you just have to be aware of that. All right. So we can grab this here. You can hear that. That's upstairs, though. Don't be worried about that. So there's another brain sucker behind this area, but there's not an opening down here like there is opposite side. So we need to backtrack over here. The other thing that's going to be down that hallway is there's going to be a nightmare creature. So don't chase that. Focus on the brain sucker first. You can see the nightmare creature all the way down at the end of the hallway there. It's basically a trap. You don't want to focus on that. So if we approach, and again, I'm not going to try to kill this thing. I'm going to let it disappear. Oh, if it comes to us, that's perfect. It shouldn't usually run towards you. All right, so what I'm going to suggest you do is come to this side here. You can already see it. Okay, so if we walk close to the wall, it's going to miss. Then we get in our charge. You can see it'll still hit that, even if we hit in a charged R2. So you have to be super careful with these guys. You can see how much damage that does. And I'm going to back away. I want to show you some of its attacks here. So you can see it's going to cast into the wall. Even if we get it to come out here with us, it'll still do the same thing. can see it's very spammy. Okay. So, here we go. Once it misses, you can charge up an attack. Really easy. It's going to be exposed for a long time. You don't even have to charge up. You can do a couple R1 attacks to kill it. But what I want to show you is how it relies on its spells first if you're at distance. But then it gets very quick and aggressive. So if you back away, you've got a huge opportunity to deal damage there. So I think really the problem that makes that enemy tough is just how surprising it is. We're not really used to fighting it. So you should do well as long as you remain calm in a fight against those creatures. Now there's lots of stuff down here, and then you see another brain sucker moving their way over here. I'm going to wait them out because I want to take them out first. You see, that's a really easy kill for us. No drop, okay. Don't worry about the loot just yet. Loot's not going anywhere. Now we've got two brain suckers over here. There's one on the balcony there that you can see. They've got their back to us. If we can approach, we can get a charged up attack. And then there's another on the other side of the stairs. So what we want to do is move up slowly but still quiet as we can. Or I'm sorry, quickly but still as quiet as we can. So we can get in place to land a significant attack on that guy. But block the ranged attacks from the guy on the opposite side with the bridge there. So I'm going to come in and immediately sneak to the right. You can see him down below. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. We're screwed. That was the worst possible result. And there's really not much you can do because you've got it target locked, so. Alright, so if this happens to you, what you're going to do is just bail out. Oh my god. Immediate. I didn't have any control over my character. I think we're still going to live here. But this is going to be fucking close. Yeah, you can see how deadly that is. It's all about the stagger. So here I'm just charging up just in case they come through. Alright, so now we can see that this guy's just standing there. So once the one in the back loses interest, we're going to be fine here. And they're actually the one at the end. So we'll let them go back to their home. Ah, perfect situation that just goes completely to shit. That second R2 should have hit and killed that guy, and then we'd have been solo with the other one, and it'd be an easy fight. Alright, so because he's up higher now than he was before, I'm going to rush with the R2. And miss everything. We're on a roll right now. On a roll. So yeah, if they're spell casting, just keep moving. Bait out the lunge. My god. That guy must have had like one hit point. The orphanage key, if you saw, that's what we got there. Oh. That's the thing about these games. You never know. You just never know. Alright, so the orphanage key is going to open up the door for us. We're not going to worry about that just yet. You can see we've got an item here on the other side of this. This is the area that connects us to, let's see, the long tunnel where we started, where we fought the beasts. So I didn't pick up that item intentionally because that window, there's another beast behind it that's going to burst through. I think it's tied to the window, or to the item itself. Because see, I'm just moving back and forth, and nothing's happening. But when I loot this item, Let's say I go in here. There we go. And I would just say go through here first. And he kind of does the same thing that the others do. They just have a real big problem with doorways. Okay. So now that that guy's been dealt with, we're just going to run all the way back and grab the loots from the other side of the hallway here. Don't fall down that opening. Be careful about that. When you know you don't have to do any fighting, I would just say go ahead and grab the torch again. Okay. Some of those were chalice items. Alright, so now we're back on the side with the stairway here. So what we're going to do is open that door all the way up top. Sorry, I should have done that before we grabbed the loot. There is a sign over there, basically a gesture or an emote. So we'll pick that up. Make contact, and then you do this symbol here. This is probably one of the more popular signs to make. You see people do that in multiplayer all the time. Whoops, wrong button there. Sorry if I seem a little flustered. Honestly, that storm really threw me off because I thought I lost my progress, but thankfully I was able to get the recorded file completed so that it didn't corrupt. All right, so when we're replacing one of these, just go ahead and switch it. So we do it like that. And then you can do your nice little make contact sign. I see this one all the time. Alright. So now we're just going to go down to the bottom. You could go down this ladder. It's probably the faster way here. Whoops. And then all the way around. Open up here. Alright, so after you loot the body there, we're going to open up this contraption. And all we've got left are the 2 boss fights for the zone. Yes, you heard me. 2 boss fights. One is a big time joke, and the other one can be deadly. But I think we're pretty well prepared for the fight, so it should go well. And I just cursed myself by saying that. So let's channel some echoes here. And then let's also equip our Great Lake rune. So what we're going to do is replace the raise HP. I want to get rid of that one. We're going to go to the Great Lake. You can see all damage reduction plus 4%. That's really, really good. All right. Now we can take a look at our weapon. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm just hitting every wrong button, saying everything wrong, having a really bad day. One of those days. One of those days. Alright. So, fortify weapon. Make sure that the Hunter Axe is upgraded as much as you can. The Blood Rock is the final upgrade for it, but we, of course, don't have one of those yet. So what we're going to do now is take a look at our blood gem fortification. You can see here that we've got some new ones like this one right here, and physical attack up 18%. That is a big one for us, so we're definitely going to use that. Then this is, let's see, the blunt attack up 12.6 versus all physical attack, and then the physical attack up at 3.6 near death. These I think could be an even swap. Because we're dealing blunt damage with the current weapon that we're using, I would say just keep the blunt attack there. And then the last slot here, we've got attack up 9.1. Most of these stones are not going to be better than that. And then when you get down to these cursed ones, they're trade-offs. Some of this cursed stuff is good, but the trade-offs are no good, so we're going to skip on that. Alright, so we are good to go for that. We're going to use bolt paper on the second boss. And then as far as healing wares goes, you should only need the 20 that you leave here with. So most likely you won't need to return here in between fights, unless you just want to level up with the blood echoes, which we honestly will probably do since we've got 20,000+ on us currently. Alright, so all we need to do is go to the Upper Cathedral Ward now. Okay, and since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm going to extend the axe because that's the way we're going to want it in the fight. And we're just going to run straight up here. Now there will be one enemy in between us and the boss, but it is a very easy, quick kill. So we got this guy right here. So, no loot. So let me go ahead and kind of explain to you what's going to go on here. When we enter this area, there's going to be a bunch of those same enemies that we just killed spawn. They're all going to try to attack you. All primarily except for one. So what I like to do is kind of have them chase me around so I can figure out which one doesn't want to put themselves at risk. Because what we're going to see is the one that's not getting close to me is the one that we actually have to kill. That's the boss. So you see this guy running away? He's the one I'm going to target first. Yeah, and that's him. So he's going to change and then go big. And then I just want to get underneath and charge up. Ah, damn it. The little dude interrupted me. Okay, so I'm going to close distance again. And that's the fight. Don't bother yourself with any of the other enemies. If you want to regain some health by clearing them out, or if they're a slight nuisance, go ahead and take them out. They'll just respawn, but not like instantly or anything like that. So it's really easy fight. You just have to focus on the one that's really not interested in being close to contact, and then go hunt them down and kill them. There's usually one or two that it could be. That's pretty much the telltale sign. Once they transition, if you get behind them or pretty much like under their legs, they're gonna sweep above you. They don't live long enough realistically to give you any threat. So just get in there, take them out, and you're on to the real boss fight that follows. The lamp here, go ahead and light that. If you have enough blood echoes to level up, I'd say just go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you probably haven't wasted any health potions or blood vials in between that fight and now. So you most likely won't need to return here.
Welcome. What is... Very well, let me...
Okay. So now we're going to go to the Lumen Flower Gardens. And we're actually going to have a few enemies to fight before we get to the next boss. Nothing serious. Roll through this window and smash this guy. If they drop an item, great. I know we see loot over there, but I want you to approach from this direction. Because we've got two aliens in that doorway there. And the one on the left side is a caster. So if we approach from the right side, they'll be able to see us. and cast spells towards us. So I'm going to move in here a little bit. We'll get this one alien to spot us, and they should come out. There they go. The other one will actually come to you too, but they're just slower about it. Alright, so now what I want to do is approach here and just rush them. So you can hear them behind here. So use that wall as your barrier, and you can get in there and beat them up really easy like. Alright, so now we're going to grab this here. A Call Beyond, very powerful for arcane builds. That is not this character, so we won't go over that. But if you are an arcane character, that is definitely one you want to pick up. Alright, so what I would suggest here is to send this guy back up just in case you do die. That way when you're running back to the boss, you don't have to fight those things. You can just run onto the elevator and it'll take you down. And to do so, you have to step on the pressure plate, which of course I can't do because I can't do anything right in this episode. I'm pretty much at this point expecting the boss to one-shot me. How poorly things have gone for me. Alright. This, you can summon an NPC here if you like. Obviously, we don't do that in the guides because we want to show you how to do things for yourself. But, of course, it's your playthrough. Do as you will. The boss will not be active until you attack it. That is, of course, unless you've died to the boss already. If you've died to the boss, the fog gate will be at that door there. And once you come and enter the zone, the fight will be on. So I would suggest preparing yourself with the short axe. We're going to apply our bolt paper. And we're just going to try to get ourselves behind the boss here. So this is actually the back of the boss. You can tell which way it's facing by the macaroni noodles on its head. That's where its head is. So the best thing that I can tell you to do in this fight is if you can somehow get between its tail side, which is this here. If you can stay on its back like that, it's going to not be able to hit you with basically any of its attacks. Not in the first phase, at least. It's going to have a real bad time trying to hit you. You can actually kind of get stuck to it as well. So that's how I want to wake it up. So we're just going to deal damage here. It doesn't actually hurt it until the health bar is there. So that's why I'm just staying right on top of it. And it is really tough to get underneath it. And it almost one-shot me to start the fight, like I said. I know the camera angle is terrible right now, so try to bear with me there. So when it does that slam down, that's where you want to really try to get in your opportunity. Okay, I don't think that should have hit. That blood spit will hurt you. And it only does that at range. You can see we're getting a frenzy build up, but that was from the blood. If you're wondering what that's from. Alright, it's going to go through a transition phase. You don't need to be worried about that. But when you hear that sound, you're now taking damage just by being near it. So that shrill, sharp sound. Okay. Yep. just the way of the episode. Right when it stopped moving, when you heard me say okay, I was about to explain to you what was going on there. When it stops moving, it's casting that spell of the blue daggers that are basically flying in from the sky. Those will absolutely destroy you. If you notice it stop moving, which I didn't, unfortunately, until it was deep into that casting, which is part of the problem with like a big boss when you're rolling in on top of it, its body, the camera is very close. This game does a really bad job of not allowing the camera to be pulled away from you so you can actually see what the big ginormous boss is doing. It's really tough in those situations. So it's part of the playing style. If you're going to fight it up close, you have to be aware that the camera is going to be all over the place and you're not going to see shit half the time. So what happens there is the boss will basically stop moving, and you could see like a blue aura potentially, especially if you're able to see the sky, which of course we weren't in any situation there. But what you'll see is a blue aura, but what you really want to look for if you're on top of the enemy is the fact that it's not going to move. So now that it's not moving, you need to run away from the boss, but run in kind of like a circular motion. It should not hit you in that instance, and then you can get back in and keep repeating what you're doing. That only occurs in the second phase, so you don't need to look out for that until after it transitions. So when you're close to it and you hear that shrill noise, that means you're in the second phase and you're slowly taking damage. Alright, we should do fine this next fight. Let's go at it again. Alright, so what I like to do is once I get in here about this distance, I'm going to go ahead and use the bolt paper. Now that the boss is in the middle of the zone, it's going to be a little bit easier to get behind them. This is exactly where you want to be. We got to the spot that we need again, so that's good. This one is really trying to get away from us right now. Oh, that was bad. Alright, let's close the distance. You see how ugly this thing is. So the worst part is when it gets up in these rocks here. Now we're good in the sweet spot again. Okay, I'm gonna be trying to look for the spam spell. It's not doing it yet, of course. Alright, we're good. It was actually charging up that spell when we staggered it. Oh my god. I knew it, dude. I knew it like halfway, not even halfway. Once the storm fucking happened, I knew this was gonna be my most hated episode ever. I fucking knew it immediately. Alright, round 3. Oh, that tentacle push right there was brutal. So if it does that slam where it pushes its body down, that's a good opportunity for you to do damage to its face. But you don't want to go out of your way to put yourself in harm's way to take advantage of that. Like, if you're there, utilize it. Can't work that way. Almost jacked that up. I wasn't sure if I was hearing things. Oh my god, I still went in a straight line. I'm not even following my own advice. Don't you love it? Oh my god, come on. I swear. I want to like delete this episode from existence right now. If I wasn't so far into the game, I would start completely over on a new character, just to pretend like this episode never happened. Wow, so frustrating. I only really get frustrated when I'm better than what's going on, and I should have walked away after the storm, because I was super frustrated and I knew I was gonna screw everything up from then on. And I've probably hit all the wrong buttons, said all the wrong things, so I'm terribly sorry for this mess of a guide. But we're here, and I can't redo that stuff, so that's just how it is. If you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments. I'll be able to help guide you better if I mess something up out of my frustrations. Again, I apologize, but we'll make the next episode a real strong effort, I promise you. When you're done with this fight, you just go ahead and light the lamp and return to the hunter's dream. And of course, if you have blood echoes to spend, go ahead and spend them. I do not have enough to level up, and I'm not going to use any cold blood to do so at this point. What we plan on doing next episode is returning to the lecture hall to conquer that zone. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. If you guys want to join us on Discord, I'd love to have you there. There's sections there where you guys can leave Bloodborne specific questions that I'll get to you. Or if you want to leave them in the YouTube comments section, I got you there too. Or just come hang out with us on Twitch when I live stream and tell me what a scrub I am like everybody else likes to do. It's bald and bearded at Twitch. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.